Hello, everybody. So we are our interns here at PeopleKult, and today we're going to be letting you all know a few things in a company's work culture or organization, pretty much any dimensions under a company that are extremely essential for Gen Z. For example, a few components of their work organization or their work culture. What are these factors that are really, really impressive to Gen Z and factors that you need to apply to your company so that you can attract more Gen Z talent? So I'll be going first, and I will be talking about equality under the dimension of work culture. So to begin with, a large proportion of Gen Z have strong work ethics, and this results in them having solid expectations for the companies that they work in. Our demographic is generally called the generation that wants it all. But this might not be all that bad. The firm values of the younger employees have forces most companies to be flexible and agile with all aspects of their work organization or culture. The biggest example of this is the extreme importance that this generation has in a workplace that prioritizes and respects diversity, equity, and inclusion. According to the results of a recent survey in 2023 by Monster, almost 83% of Gen Z guarantee that workplace diversity matters, and over 33% state that they will not even consider applying if diversity is not considered. It is important to note that diversity goes beyond gender, age, religion, race, or even physical ability. Although, of course, it is extremely crucial that you do not discriminate any employees under any of these factors as well, other factors such as marital situation, parental status, educational background, or seniority are just as important. And therefore, it is safe to say that this generation does not tolerate any sort of discrimination in their company's work cultures. However, it is also important to note that diversity for the sake of statistics is not very impressive and can actually be quite a turn-off. Because Gen Z, when they work with you, they want to see that equality, having respect for your employees is an integral part of your work culture and not something you do just so we can boast about including different ethnicities. So it's very important that it is an integral part of your work culture and each employee is reminded of this, because we all know that work culture directly impacts the employees that they work under. So this leads to another observation that Gen Z are also more sensitive to the way different ideas are treated and respected. In other words, a collaborative and safe environment provided by a company that encourages open participation is extremely crucial. A Deloitte survey calls this shifting view from the previous generation cognitive diversity. Moreover, including equality has great benefits for the company as well, because this boosts employee productivity, creativity, employee attraction, satisfaction, and even retention. A recent study by McKinsey reports that ethnically diverse teams were 33% more likely to outperform their peers. This is because diverse backgrounds bring interesting and possibly even differing perspectives, which is extremely crucial in developing the creativity and critical thinking abilities in your employees.
As my colleague previously talked about equality, I'm here to shed light on another pressing issue that greatly affects our generation, which is unhealthy competition. Unhealthy competition, fueled by a win-at-all-cost mentality, often breeds hostility and undermines trust among colleagues. In such an environment, individuals are pitted against each other, constantly vying for recognition and advancement. This not only hampers productivity, but also takes a toll on one's mental health. This definitely reminds me of my high school days, when everybody was striving to get good grades to impress the teachers and their other fellow classmates, and no one was willing to help each other. Moreover, unhealthy competition often hinders our ability to grow and develop professionally. Instead of focusing on our personal development and acquiring new skills, we're often caught in a race to outdo our peers. The narrow focus on competition stifles our creativity, collaboration, and innovation, which are essential for success in the modern workplace.
As my colleague just spoke to you about unhealthy competition, the next aspect that we're going to see is extremely tied, is very close to the topic she just spoke about, is about prioritizing mental well-being in the professional space, a very important part of work culture that especially Gen Z finds extremely crucial. A recent Randstad survey reports that Gen Z is expected to surpass millennials and Gen X by comprising over 37% of the global workforce this year. But as most Gen Zs are only recently embarking on their professional journey, asking for help or assistance in prioritizing their mental health or even just supporting it a little bit can be quite daunting. A survey in 2023 by McKinsey reported the professionals of this generation as having lower levels of emotional and social well-being in comparison to their previous employees, with an additional reduced positive outlook on life. Therefore, attending to the maintenance of a work culture that promotes the well-being of their employees is extremely crucial, especially for this generation. A recent Life Intelligence report suggests that over 80% of employees are more willing to work in a company that offers digital employee wellness and developmental training programs. This is because it very simply conveys to the employees that we as a company truly care about your mental well-being and we care about your professional development, and we're here to do anything that you might need to achieve this outcome of yours. Fostering a culture of wellness is extremely crucial for any company, as the culture that they decide to opt to will have very direct implications on their employee. For this, it is vital to maintain a culture that encourages and rewards healthy behaviors. A great example of a company that does this really well is Google, with a lot of mental health apps, fitness and massage centers on site, and even a group support for their employees is extremely important and actually goes a really long way in supporting their mental well-being. And this is also because Google truly understands that happier employees are truly the more productive employee. Moreover, this is crucial for this generation as they're not afraid to leave a company if they feel that their needs are not being met, or if their ideas of a good company does not align with what the company is actually doing, as we've all seen through the Great Resignation, in which over 37% of young adults were more than willing to resign in comparison to only 17% of adults who were around 30 to 49 years old, meaning the previous generations. But it is also extremely crucial to remember that maintaining your employees' well-being goes beyond providing them with any sort of financial compensation or any benefits that may be only money related, because there are so many other ways where you can prioritize the mental well-being of your employees. For instance, a kind gesture, an appreciation for the work that they've been doing, and an acknowledgement of their efforts for the company can go a really long way in maintaining a very positive work culture. This is why well-being is an extremely important component of work culture that Gen Z especially look forward to the most.
Absolutely. Well-being is a crucial workplace aspect for Gen Z. I couldn't have said it better myself, Steffi. Being a Gen Z myself, I look forward to the benefits and compensation being offered by the organization. There are many workplace benefits, but the most attractive benefit is flexibility in work. Does working in an office full-time appeal to me? Not really. Neither does it appeal to 70% of Gen Z who said they will look for another job if their employer requires them to be in office full-time, according to ADP Research Institute. Now, being full-time remote and hopping on Zoom and Microsoft Teams all the time is not the idea of flexibility I have in mind. A hybrid work environment where there is a balance mix of in-office and time working remotely is the perfect and desired flexible work arrangement. Having said that, I am willing to relocate if I feel I am cut out for the job. Interestingly, this is consistent with the findings of a survey conducted in 2022 by the #1 online recruiting platform for college students today, Handshake. They surveyed about 700 respondents from the class of 2023 to understand the mindset and approach of this class of rising graduates. The results indicate that more than 3 out of 5 respondents prefer to work in a hybrid environment, and 2/3 say they would be willing to change cities for the right job. The top responses to the question, what makes the 2022 class more likely to apply for a job, were a higher starting salary for 74% and overall benefits for 66%. A 2018 study titled Generation G Entering the Workforce: The Need for Sustainable Strategies in Maximizing Their Talent, published in the Human Resources Management International Digest, analyzed the information collected from the journal articles, newspapers, various discussions, and conferences
with the Gen Z cohort group. What emerges from the results reported here is that Gen Z wants schedule flexibility and the ability to work remotely when it suits them. According to a recent study by Deloitte, flexibility is the most important factor for Gen Z when it comes to choosing a job. In fact, 75% of Gen Z respondents said they would prefer a job with flexibility. Adopting a similar position, a survey by LinkedIn, the world's largest professional network on the internet, conducted a survey, found that 73% of Gen Z workers want a hybrid work environment, which allows them to work from home sometime and in office the rest of the time. LinkedIn data also suggests that Gen Z is 77% more likely to engage with a job posting on LinkedIn that mentions flexibility than one that does not. In view of all that has been mentioned so far, one may suppose that Gen Z values flexibility, work-life balance, and meaningful work. Despite being a generation born with a phone in their hands, Gen Z does necessarily not want or not enjoy entirely remote work. In fact, we express appreciation for in-person interaction and other opportunities in the office. Compensation is another major workplace deciding factor for me. Let's talk about the most popular form of compensation. That is, you guessed it, how much is the pay? Naturally, I want to be compensated fairly for the work I do and the value I bring to the place. According to a BBC Work article published in 2022, Kathleen Gerson, a professor of sociology, arts, and science at the New York University, points out that Gen Zers just want decent pay for doing work they enjoy and the respect that allows them to have a life outside of their job. The Handshake Network Trends report from April 2021 found that 70% Gen Z respondents ranked salary compensation as the most important factor when choosing a job. LinkedIn reports that 3 in 4 Gen Zers said they are willing to switch career paths entirely, and their main reason for job hopping include finding a position that better suits them, their interests and values, opportunities to get new skills, and better compensation. Likewise, a job seeker survey conducted by the recruitment platform Ripple Match in the year 2020 identified that compensation would be the number one factor when evaluating offers for 77% of Gen Zers. A BBC Work-Life article published in 2023 seeks to answer the question, why are Gen Zers so important and motivated to be paid fairly? Gen Z has grown up watching their parents, largely Gen Xers, struggle with money amid economic downturns. Now, they have graduated into their own economic turbulence and are worried about securing their future. As a result, they are demanding more remuneration from their employers than ever, and at earlier stages in their career. Experts say that many young workers are willing to walk for better paying opportunities. To sum it up, flexibility and compensation/pay are the most sought after aspects for myself and other majority Gen Zers who are looking for a job.
Last but not least, let's talk about siloed and conflicted organization. Siloed and conflicted organization, often characterized by internal power struggles and a lack of clear direction, can often create frustration and confusion among employees. When leadership is divided or inconsistent, it becomes difficult for individuals to understand their roles and responsibilities. It's like being in a group with your classmates and nobody can decide who makes the final decision, let alone make the decision in the first place. This can lead to a sense of disillusionment and a lack of motivation to perform at our best. According to Indeed, Leaders who tolerate silos allow the culture of separate groups to exist. The relationship between managers can often influence the morale of lower-level employees. For instance, a business that has two chief officers who manage their own department, but they disagree on what leadership direction to take, causes tension between the staff members, which can create organizational silos within their respective departments, often leading to less collaboration among the different departments. Overall, as members of Gen Z, we yearn for a work environment that embraces collaboration, personal growth, and inclusivity. It is the responsibility of both the organizations and the individuals to create a culture that values teamwork and supports the well-being of employees. By doing so, we can create a workplace environment that empowers us to thrive and make a positive impact in our professional lives. Thank you.